you guys. Please raise your hand if you want to be successful. Who wants to be successful? Okay. I think all of us, even if we didn't raise our hands, want to be successful. But what is success, and what does successful people do? I mean, I'm always attracted to successful people, and I feel attracted to the charisma, and I feel that the most important part of being successful is being positive. So mindset is very important. And I think that positive feelings have to be nurtured. So if you don't think about what you think about, you end up with very negative feelings. And today, as the name of my speech is The Bitter Fall of Success, I will reveal you the worst enemy of success. Now, if you didn't listen to me anymore, I'd want you to remember just one thing. Just one thing. Enjoy the process. Don't focus on the result. Right? And I love Toastmasters because Toastmasters is full of successful people with successful mindset who are ready to develop themselves and don't expect other people to be responsible for their growth. I mean, Toastmasters is all about networking, and networking is the skill that we seek to acquire, but at the same time, many people think of networking as of relationships with other people, yeah? Me relationship with Greg, with Tom, with any one of you. So I think that when you are in a relationship, there is a very significant part of it that you have to be very, very aware of. And so the worst enemy of success, in my opinion, is expectation. Expectations are a natural part of our life, and as children, we are very, very keen to expect things. We have a good memory, short-term memory, and we always expect things. And I remember till this day how my late father came to me, and we were living separately, so he came to me to meet me one day, and he said to me that, look, if you will grow up, I will give you a car, yeah, you know, and I always without a car, you know, that was always my dream to be tall, you know, and eventually I became kind of tall, and so when I became tall, I was very disappointed when I didn't get a car. So I think we have to be very, very meticulous when we promise something to children. Other than that, when we grow up, when we become adults, expectations can be very, very daunting part of our life. And I think expectations can ruin our personal identity, expectations can ruin our relationships with other people, they can ruin the way we do business and the success in our business, and they can also ruin our society as a whole. They can make our society a much meaner place and a much worse place. Now, firstly, I want to talk about personal identity. If you think about it, expectations are always about our perception of how things are supposed to be. And whenever you don't get that promotion, or you don't get that good mark at your school or your college, or whenever you don't achieve something, you are disappointed. And that's when you should try again. And that's when you feel very, very down, and that's when you don't want to repeat what you have done. So it's very important for us to enjoy the process and understand that the opposite of success is not a failure, is never a failure. The opposite of success is mediocrity, is the unwillingness to do anything else because we failed. Also, I think that expectations can greatly ruin the relationships. Just imagine the situation. You've met your old friend, and the old friend that you've met, that you've been a childhood friend with, and you've last seen that person 10 years ago. Yeah? And so you remember that person right the way he or she was at that point of time. And when you meet him or her again, you expect him or her to be the same. That's why you're so excited. But the truth is that everything in this world changes. And we should embrace this change and accept it as a part of our life. And so, whenever we are in a boy-girl relationships, I'm sure what all of you have done with, we can perceive other person the wrong way. So that the other person can be something else, and we expect him or her to be loving, caring, or whatever other quality you expect him to be, but that's not always the case. And again, so we build these castles on clouds, and again, they fall down and we feel very, very disappointed. And that's when our expectation can ruin our relationships. Also, thirdly, I want to talk about business and the way we do business. Now, business is all about networking and the way you understand how other people act. And if you think of the greatest businessmen in this world, they are not actually very specific. I mean, if you think about Alibaba and Jack Ma, he never even learned, I mean, he did learn, but he never even mastered programming to build his websites. But those people are great at networking and communication. And from my own experience, I know that whenever you do business with people, especially friends, and you expect a lot from them, the business is determined to fail. Because in business, as in personal career, prospect, you are the most responsible person for your own success. And whenever you network, you should think about what kind of value do you offer to other people. What kind of value do you offer? Not what can you get from other people. And last but not the least, I want to talk about the society. These days, Kazakhstan is not doing very well. I mean, the world is not doing very well in terms of economics. And we see a lot of people complaining. Complaining about the community services, complaining about the city council, complaining about the government, complaining about America or the West and the Russian world, you know, always clashing together. So I think what we should embrace, and I think what we should think of, is actually enjoying ourselves and actually always working on whatever it is we have to do and we have to offer to this world. And in that case, we will never be disappointed again. Thank you very much.